Hello, 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 hello. I am so incredibly happy that you are here. I'm so happy, I'm so happy, I'm so happy that you are here today. Don't mind my bed. I really have to go make it. Pretend it's not there. Pretend. Yes. I'm so happy you're here. Before I get started, I want to say thank you so much for all the new love and support that y'all have been giving me on my last video. It means so much to me. Dream come true. I'm so excited that we're almost at 100 subscribers. That's actually crazy. Like, that's literally insane. Like, if you've watched my videos before, you know I like to use the analogy, like, people like to they like to harp on your like success and like don't like to take support you on it. Jeez, I can't speak today. But like, I feel like my one go-to response for if somebody was like, oh my god, 100 subscribers, like, that's not that many. Imagine being stuck in a cramped room with 100 people. Would you like that? Because I wouldn't. That would be gross. So 100 people, that's a lot of people. One, I don't even know that many people in my personal life. Like, I know like 5 people. I only talk to like 5 people. So like, what? Like, that's amazing. Anyways, I'm so thankful. So thank you guys so much for your love and support. It means genuinely so much to me. And let me know. I know that there were some comments about the echo on the mic. I tried to lower it. Let me know if you hear the noise in the background. I'm so sorry. Like, I've decided to film during the day, so I can't stop the cars. I really wish I could tell them to shut up so I could film, but you know, people have their own lives, I guess. But yeah, I tried to lower the echo on the mic, so just like let me know if it's too high still. Like, I don't know, I can't tell. Like, it's really hard to tell how it sounds. I don't know, whatever. Okay. I don't think I said welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new, I'm so happy you're here. And if you're not new, I'm also still so happy you're here. Please get a drink or don't, eat food or don't. Honestly, do whatever your heart contents and relax and spend this time with me. I'm so excited for this week's video. I think I've established kind of a schedule is to film on Tuesdays and either upload Tuesday nights or Wednesday during the day, because like it seems like the best day to do it for my like class schedule. I don't really know. My schedule is always changing. I don't really have a set schedule, so we'll see. So thank you so much for bearing with me. I'm trying to be as consistent as I can be. Your love and support really does motivate me, so I really appreciate that. But yeah, okay. Today's video is book club. You know what? Yeah, let's just put it that way. So I've decided that I'm kind of gonna do like this book club thing on my channel. I don't really know what that entails, but we'll go with the flow, okay? Basically, I really wanted to incorporate my love for reading and my hobby as like a reader into my channel, because I think it's a really integral part of me. Like, it's a really big part of my life is reading, and I really want to read more. And I think talking about books like will make me want to read more, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like all the people in my personal life are really sick of me yapping about my books, but so who better to yap to than this amazing community we got going. So this week's book is You're Not Supposed to Eat Tonight. Y'all, I would say the word, but I'm kind of scared of what YouTube will say, because I know they're really like strict with like certain words. So you know what, we're gonna just have to do it. Please let me know any book recs you have for me to read. I primarily read like romance, but I'm most definitely open to reading other things. I really want to broaden this book club meeting, I guess, is You're Not Supposed to Et Tonight by Kayleen Bayron. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I'm so sorry. So forewarning, like trigger warning, that there's not trigger, well, I guess trigger warning. I'm gonna be spoiling the book. So if you don't want that, then I'll see you in the next video. Okay. On top of reading, I really, really enjoy doing book reviews. So I did actually make a book review for this. I don't know, you probably can't see it because it's backwards for y'all. But like, I also don't know how to draw stars, so like don't mind. But yes, so I have this book review that I created back in the beginning of 2024. I actually read this book like 2 months ago, but I really, really wanted to talk about it as our first book of this book club. So I'm just gonna give a little synopsis. That's how you say that, right? Synopsis, and then also kind of like spoil the ending and like talk about my review and like my like ratings of the book. And if y'all have read this book, let me know what you think. And if you haven't read this book, let me know what. That was loud. Let me know what your favorite genre of book is, please. Please let me know. Okay, so the synopsis is: at Camp Mirror Lake, terror is the name of the game, but can you survive the night? Charity Curtis has the perfect summer job, playing the final girl at Camp Mirror Lake. Guest pay to be scared in a full contact terror game, as Charity and her summer crew recreate scenes from the classic slasher film Curse of Camp Mirror Lake. But the last weekend of the summer, her co-workers start to go missing. Then one ends up dead. Charity's role as the final girl becomes real. Charity, her girlfriend Bessie, and their friends must try to survive the night. Oh my goodness. Crazy. Like, I don't know about y'all, but like, I've never really read like horror or thriller books before, so this was like, oh my gosh. And it, like, if I'm being honest, like, it's a YA book. It's I would say it's like probably 13 plus. I don't know, for it being a YA book, it's very graphic in its depiction of the horror that takes place in this book. Like the murder, the scenes are like very graphic, and I wasn't really expecting that. Honestly, my review of this book is that it was honestly a really good book. I actually gave it 5 stars. Now looking back, I don't know if I'd give it 5 stars, maybe like 4. It was really good. I think like as an introduction to the horror genre, this was actually beautiful. Wait, let me do some tapping sounds as I yap away. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, honestly, as a introduction to the horror genre, this was actually like really, really good. I really, really related to, not related, but I really liked Charity, and I love Charity's friends. Like, there's so many, like, I do annotate my books, like you can see, I highlight them, and I like make little comments to myself, because when I reread it, I like to know what I was thinking the first time I read it. But I think it's like, I really, really, really liked their friendships with each other. It was like really good, found family for like the first half of the book, and then the second half of the book, everyone freaking died. So that was not fun. I was actually really sad when they like ended some of the characters. Like, yeah, no, that was really sad. But in the beginning half of the book, I really, really enjoyed the setup. I thought the setup was really done. You could really see the chemistry between Charity and her friends, and also her co-workers, because the start of the book is basically Charity's co-workers start to go missing, and so she's like, bro, we have like one last show to do. We need to put on this horror show. Like, we have to finish off the season. Sorry. And so she has to call up her friends and her girlfriend to come and help her kind of like run the last show. And it's during the last last show that like things start to take a turn, and prior to the last show you can start to see the dynamics between the friends and like who has each other's back the most, and like who is kind of like ride or dies for each other versus like who's kind of just like there. They're not really part of the friend group dynamic. So I thought that was really interesting and well written. I also thought like the scenes leading up to the final night were really good. Like I was kind of sitting on the edge of my seat, to be honest, because like where I thought it was going, it was not going. Like I just thought this was gonna be some like little slasher, like I don't know, like some 80s summer slasher, but it was not. It actually was kind of cray. So I'm gonna get further into the plot. So this is also based off of my memory and recalling what happened 3 months ago when I read this. So bear with me. But so she calls up her friends for help on the last game of this year and making sure that it runs smoothly, as she wants to finish this season off with like a bang, kind of. And one thing about like working at this camp is Charity is kind of running the whole thing. Like Charity in this book is about probably like 17, 18, maybe not even 18. And she has a really rough home life. So this like camp is like kind of her home for the summer. Like it is home for the summer, but it's really like an escape from her actual life. And so like she needs everything kind of to be perfect, and she really likes this job. Like she's been applying for this job for like years, and this is her first season like where she actually got it. And the owner of the camp is like never around at all, so it's basically just Charity running the whole show. Basically she's in charge. She tells everyone what to do. She gives everyone their roles, and it's crazy. So basically how the game works is people come and visit the camp, and there's their staff play each role. So I believe his name is Kyle. Is his name Kyle? Yeah. Okay. So his name is Kyle. Kyle is playing. He's like 6 foot something. He's huge and like very scary looking. He plays the slasher guy. He plays the equivalent of like Michael Myers or like who's that? Freddy? No, I don't know. Jason. Sorry, I was like, who plays the Friday the 13th? He's like the equivalent of them. And so basically the game starts at one of the lodges in the camp, and from there all of her coworkers start to fall off one by one as like they're hunting. Basically Kyle is hunting the players down one by one, but he's not actually doing anything. Like this is all fake, but it's like really scary and like really an intense game. And like you see so many times, like Charity says that like so many times people you go into the game with that you thought were friends, actually you leave no friends because they ditch you, because like I'm assuming it's really hard to distinguish between reality and like what is fake. And so like the opening scene is literally this guy leaving his girlfriend to get caught by Kyle so he can escape, and he ends up getting caught too. So that was for nothing, but him and his girlfriend broke up. So I guess that's like a real test to relationships, is going through this horror simulating game. So that's kind of how the story opens. Is it starts in the middle of a game with players, and she's the final girl, and she also makes all the calls. She decides who lives or who gets caught in this game. If she really likes a player or a customer, she'll let them live and not get caught. So she's really funny. She's a really funny character. I really do enjoy her banter with her friends and her coworkers and all of that stuff. So after she has called all of her friends down and her girlfriend to come help her run this last game, during the last game Brenda, like, you know, and he starts like interrogating Charity and like being kind of a nuisance, like kind of being annoying to Charity, and he, like the whole crew is like, what the heck, like, what, you're literally not doing anything, like, she has a shotgun, she is threatened to end us, and you're just like, nah, that's Brenda being Brenda. It was crazy. So he takes her away in the cop car, and for the rest of the night they're kind of shooken up, and this is also the first time that Charity has seen her friends for like since the start of the summer, so they're kind of all rekindling and regrouping, and like her and her girlfriend are kind of like, you can start to see the dynamic there, and that's a really cute dynamic. Honestly, I read this at a point in my life where I was like, anti-love, frick that, but I actually thought that was really cute, and I was like, damn, maybe I want a partner now, but whatever. Anyways, so they are recouping, but there's still like kind of like a sense of like tension and like, oh my gosh, something could happen, like we don't know, that girl could always show up again, and we know we can't trust the cops, like clearly we can't trust the cops because they're not doing nothing. And they start to head to bed, and there's been they start hearing some noises coming from the forest and the lake. They really hear like noises coming from the lake. They hear splash, and nobody's supposed to be in the water, like at all. Like, you're not supposed to be in the water, because it's like kind of dangerous. And they're like kind of freaking out now. It's like 3 a.m. They're like, oh my god, this crazy lady just showed up, and now we're hearing noises. Like, we're not gonna make it out alive. But they do. They make it through the night, and everything's fine. And so the next day is like cleanup day. They need to get the heck out of this camp because, like, well, the season's over, and also everyone is like violently uncomfortable. Like, it's kind of been a scary time for everyone, clearly, like, understandably. And so as they're starting to clean up, something's like a little off. And mind you, like in the synopsis, it says that her coworkers start to go missing in the beginning of the summer, like midway through the summer. So they decide to go check the cabin of the coworkers who they just thought up and left, and were like, done with this game, because apparently a lot of people just up and leave the camp because they don't want to work there anymore. But I'm like, that's a little sus, babes. That's a little sus. So basically they literally go into these people's camps, and they find their phones and all their belongings, and we're like, the coworker, like the crew is like, bro, like if they were really leaving because they didn't want to work here and they just wanted to slack off for the summer, like wouldn't they take all of their stuff? Like, that's a little sus. That's a little sus. And I think this is when the crew starts being like, okay, this is a little weirder than we initially thought. And so that's when things really start to like kick off. Really start to kick off in the book, is as they're cleaning up the cabin, there's cameras all over the campgrounds basically, and they're in the security room, and they're looking at the cameras as they're cleaning up the office, and they find like they're seeing things on the camera, like there's somebody on the campgrounds with them, and so now they're scared, and it's like it's obviously so scary, and like they're like, now this is kind of like when they're starting to be hunted down. And I know that like one of the main characters during this time of like there's somebody following them and like is actively wanting to hurt them, like wanting to break into the camps and the cabins that they're in, take all their stuff and everything like that. One of the guys in the crew, he makes a phone call to his grandma who attended this camp like 60 years ago or something like that. And everyone thought that the things that happened on this camp were like true, but not really, like this is fiction. But the grandma is like, everything that's happened on this camp, like everything they claim to have happened in the movie Camp Mirror Lake has actually happened. Shocking revelation. I'm just kidding, I actually kind of saw that coming. I feel like I saw a lot of this stuff coming, but I thought it was still really well written. Anyways, once they have this discovery, they also also find these newspapers and stackings in the attic that actually lead them to call his grandma, because like in the newspapers there's like headings of like, oh my camp massacre at Camp Muir Lake, like 60 children have been or something like that. I can't remember the numbers. And then they're like, oh crap, like this is real, like does their boss know about this? So they try and call their boss, and their boss is not answering. Like he has not been answering these past couple days at all. And it's like, that's kind of weird. Like it's not unusual for him, but it's kind of weird because like this is the end of the season. Usually he has to come down and like fix everything that was broken during this summer, or like just make sure everything has been cleaned up effectively. Anyways, this is like the kickoff to the like the hunt, I guess, of them. Basically, since they've called, now that they've called grandma, they know that something's off, and then immediately after they kind of like start getting hunted one by one, and the rest of the book is literally them trying to like survive. I do know that when they are being hunted, like they do break up into, like they separate, which is like the last thing you should probably do, but what am I to say? Basically they separate and they decide that they're going to go to the old woman's house to see if she knows anything. But the old woman, like a group of them decide to go to the old woman's house, and she is like insane, and then like threatens to kill them, and then she has to like, she's hit, and like they have to take her down. It's this whole scene, and it's crazy. It's actually crazy. Like this book, it's crazy. And once they escape the old woman who was like low-key trying to hurt them, they come back to the camp where the rest of the friends are supposed to be, and like it is crazy. Like there's been like, it's basically a massacre. Like people have died. Like Bessie, Charity's, like one of Charity's best friends has been stabbed and slashed, and like it's this crazy thing. And so now they're trying to like, they have to go get help, and so they try and call the police. And it's like, I know, like I don't know what would y'all do in this situation. Like, do you think you could survive a night with like a slasher killer? Do you think so? Because personally, me, no. I'd be the first one dead. I know that. I would actually be the first one to not be alive. I think that I'm so like, no. I just know myself, and you know what? Sometimes it's important to know ourselves and to know our strengths and abilities and play within it. And I know that I would be the first one unalived. So, love that so much for me. Yeah, how about you? Let me know what you think, if you'd be able to survive. But yeah, basically they start being hunted down one by one, and like there's a lot of like fight scenes and a lot of scenes where like Charity is actually being like the final girl. She is playing the final girl role. Like her life depends on it, because it really does. And you can see like as she gets separated, her and her girlfriend Bessie get separated from the rest of the group, you can see how they start to work together even more. Like their relationship is really, really strong, and like it's really sad. The characters that you've grown to love, like watching them get out one by one is really, honestly, really sad, because I really do like a lot of her friends. So yeah, I'm not gonna bore you with the details of how like they all get out, I guess. But I am, I'll move on now to kind of like the shock. So right now, the only people left are Charity, Bessie, and Kyle. The Kyles, remember the Kyles, the guy who plays like Jason or like Michael Myers. He's supposed to be the unaliver. And they are really trying to get in contact with the guy who owns this place. And also, oh my gosh, I forgot to tell y'all. Basically, once they were all getting get off one by one on the campsite, they decide to run away from the campsite. And as they're campsite. They're going to like, I don't even know where they're going, but they stumble across this really crazy cult. Like, absolutely crazy cult. Like, the people are wearing owl costumes, and it's actually like literally insane. Like, they're wearing owl costumes, and they're like like one of them's wearing an owl costume, and the rest of them are in like robes, and like they're chanting in Latin, and just I guess your stereotypical cult things, and they're all like chanting in Latin, and they're actively like stabbing someone, literally, as they're chanting in Latin. And it actually is one of their friends they see, who actually, it was one of the co-workers. Oh, I'm remembering this now. It's actually one of the co-workers that went missing, is literally actively being like, you know. And so now they know that they're not just dealing with like a Michael Myers, they're literally dealing with a cult. That one, I have to admit, I did not see that coming. And now I'm kind of scared of owls, and they're literally my favorite animal. But like, the things this owl did, it's kind of scary. Like, it's actually really scary. Like, I'm scared. And so basically, they try to sneak away from the cult so the cult doesn't notice them, because they are spying on them. And someone's phone goes off or something happens, and now the cult knows that they know that they're like, that they are a cult and that they're there. So now they're like, we have to hunt them down. So now who's left is, like I said, Kyle, Bessie, who's Charity's girlfriend, and Charity, and they're running away from this owl man, as this owl man is like running to attack them. So they end up taking the owl man down, and they end up like ending him. And then, yeah, the twist. So after they take down Owlman, they're like, oh my god, now we're safe, we're good. Tell me why Monsieur Kyle is like, I'm sorry, girls. Shock. Actually shocking. Like, what do you mean you're sorry? What are you sorry for? I'm chills. And out walks the old lady and the guy who owns the lodge, who owns the campsite. Bro. Kyle is their grandson, and they literally have to do this every year to sacrifice people to keep the gods at bay or something like that. I was actually shocked. And obviously Charity and Bessie are like, we're not going down without a fight. We're literally not going down with a fight. So they're like, pa 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 pa. I hope you like to buy a physical demonstration of that. So they're fighting, and literally Kyle, like, they fight and they win, kind of, and Kyle's like, he's kind of really, like, he seems really apologetic, and he seems like he's not gonna hurt them anymore. And so they let their guard down, and then boom, Kyle ends Charity. Kyle ends the final girl. Literally ends the final girl. Girl, what? Literally what? Like, actually insane. And basically there needs to be a final girl, because like, I feel like in every book there needs to be a final girl. So the role of final girl has transferred from Charity to her girlfriend Bessie. Like, maybe I'm not explaining this properly. I don't even know. But like, when I read that, I was like, no freaking way. I was not expecting that. I thought Charity was gonna be the final girl, because literally she is the final girl. Oh, actually insane. It's like literally clinically insane, clinically chaotic. I love it. I eat that up. So that happens literally. Now the end of the book is a year later on the date that a year later on that date, Charity and Kyle go down to the water. And at first I was like, oh, maybe not Charity, sorry, Bessie, Charity's girlfriend, and Kyle go down to the water. And at first I'm like, oh my god, maybe like Charity actually didn't die, and like, ha, they gagged us. so honest, I really kind of wish they left the ending at like Bessie now being the final girl, because I think that was a much more impactful ending. Like, she literally took the role from her girlfriend, that she is now the final girl, despite like Charity literally training her whole life for this. Well, not literally, but like Charity has always been the final girl, and now she's no longer the final girl. I kind of wish they ended it like that. Okay, now that I gave you the most chaotic summary or overview of that book, I'm so sorry if that was hard to follow. You know, I'm talking to y'all like you're like, this is like a FaceTime call. This is how I explain things to my friends, and I know I'm really bad at that, so I apologize. But I would say for this last part of the video, I'm just gonna do a review of what I thought. I know I have been giving some commentary as I do, as I've been telling you the story, but I just wanted to give one final thought before I leave. It's also, I love the cover. Look at that cover. I'm gonna cover that word because I don't know. Also, there's a little owl in there, so that could be like a little hint. Oh, I think that's so freaking cute. Like, it's so cool. I love when books do that, to be honest, when they give like subtle hints on the cover of what the book, like what the reveal will be. And so I was really excited to read this book. I'm so okay. So my final thoughts. I really did enjoy this book. I really did. I thought it was really well written. I thought the characters were really fleshed out, and I thought that the dynamic between the crew was believable, and like it was very teenager-esque, and I really loved that because like, but they also didn't make really dumb decisions. Like sometimes I'm like, oh my god, why would you make that decision? I mean, some of them did, but like Charity was actually had a good head on her shoulders, and her girlfriend Bessie too. So I really appreciated that. I really did think it was well written. The one criticism I have is like I really didn't like the ending. I kind of wish they kept it. I had like Bessie is now the final girl, because I think that's like genuinely so much more impactful than like them resurrecting her and then now they're both the final girls. Like, no, I don't know. I get like it's YA and you really don't want to kill the main character off. So like you kind of want to bring her back, but I don't know. I kind of thought that was a little stupid, a little silly if I'm being honest. But overall, I did like the book. It did have me on the edge of my toes. I was reading it during my job. Like I was working the night shift. I was working the overnight, and I was alone, and it was dark, and I was reading this, and I was like, why the heck am I reading this right now? Like this is actually kind of spooky. I'm actually really scared, and like there would be noises in at work, and I'd be like, oh my god, oh my god. So yeah, it was actually really spooky, I found, and it actually did really spark my my love for and like wanting to read way more horror books and thrillers. So if you have any good thriller recommendations, please let me know. I really want to read more. I just read this other slasher book called The Pledge. I really didn't like it. I can do another video on that if y'all want, but like I didn't really like that. So yeah,